Welcome into the Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I'm Namath Pitts. We are rolling on this Wednesday afternoon. We have hit the midweek point of the week, and I am excited about today's show. We are going to give you many high school football schedules for the 2024 high school football season. We had the AHSA region realignments at the end of this past season, which meant teams are in new regions, which means they have new region opponents. It means they have to get new non-region opponents, and we're going to break down over, I think it's 15 schedules today, maybe even 16, 17 schedules of teams right here in East Alabama that have finalized their schedule. Now, there's a couple teams that still have not finalized their schedule. Walter Welborn is one of those. Head coach Jeff Smith still looking for another game. The Oxford Yellow Jackets are another team that still have not finalized their schedule. Sam Adams is still looking for more opponents. The Piedmont Bulldogs are a team that are still trying to put their schedule together. So we don't have every team in the area, but we have a lot of teams that are right here in the Calhoun and Etowah Gadsden area as we break down all these schedules for the 2024 football season, which typically means the schedules are pretty similar in 2025. Typically, home become away, away become home. There's a couple teams that'll do aways both years or vice versa, be home both years. But we're going to break down all of those schedules. So again, if this is your first time watching us, this is The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I'm Namath Pitts. I am the host of The Locker Room. And we also, outside The Locker Room, we have this show every day at 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. But we also have EA and News every night at 6:30 p.m. as Mike Stedham and Katie Edwards bring you your local news. John Holder's back today. I'm sure the weather is not quite as nice as it was in California when he was in Pasadena, but still beautiful weather in Alabama today. And then, of course, I've got your local sports. We preview, or recap, I should say, all the basketball scores from last night. We recap the region duels and wrestling, and we look ahead at the night ahead. All right, guys, let's go ahead and roll right into things. We're talking 2024 high school football schedules right here in East Alabama. So let's start in Class 2A with the Coosa Christian Conquerors. Here's the schedule for the Coosa Christian Conquerors. And right away, Coosa Christian, the Conquerors, who are the Class 1A runner-up, they move up to Class 2A after the competitive balancing for private schools. They're going to open their season up August 23rd on the road in Georgia at Pierce County. Now, if you're not familiar with Pierce County, they're led by former coach at Oxford, Coach Herring, and he is also joined by a former Gaston coach, who's their defensive coordinator, Coach Swain Morris. And Pierce County is your defending state champions in their respective classification in the state of Georgia. They are won two. Coach Herring and Coach Morris have won 2 state championships at Pierce County. And Coosa Christian Conquerors are going to be traveling down to South Georgia very first week of the season. Long trip as they're going to go on the road to Pierce County. Then they're going to be on the road week 2, or week 1, I guess is what you call it, but it's their second game. And how about this? The Coosa Christian Conquerors, Class 2A, are going to play Class 6A Pale City at Pale City. Coach Rush Probst, who had a maybe month stint at Coosa Christian, 2-month stint, is now going to host the Conquerors at Pale City. So Coosa Christian opening their season up against defending state champions Pierce County and Georgia, going on the road to Pale City. Then they get into region play where they're going to face Southeastern at home. They're going to go to Falkville, go to Susan Moore. Then they're going to get back in non-region again. And look at this. They've got the defending Class 2A state champions, the Fife Red Devils. And this game's going to be at Coosa Christian. It's going to be a home game for the Conquerors, who are going to host Coach Benefield and the Fife Red Devils. They've got 2 state champions on their schedule. They've got one of the greatest coaches to ever step the sidelines on their schedule. And then they get back in region play. They're going to host Cleveland, a school that Coach O'Brien used to coach at. Then they've got Cold Springs at home. They're going to go on the road to West End, Walnut Grove. And then how about this last game? Tuscaloosa Academy at home. This is another really good private institution who's going to be a playoff team. This might be one of the toughest schedules in the state of Alabama. Coosa Christian, Mark O'Brien, I applaud you for the non-region schedule you put together. So that's the first one, the Coosa Christian Conquerors, Coach Mark O'Brien's schedule, as you see right there. If we go just a little north of Coosa Christian, you find yourself in Center, Alabama, where the defending 4A state runner-up, which is the Cherokee County Warriors. We now take a look at the Cherokee County Warriors schedule for the 2024 season, and they're going to open their season up at home against North Jackson. They're going to face North Jackson to open the season up. Then they're going to get Piedmont at home, another really good team in Coach Miller. Then you've got Arab. Also, this game's going to be an away game. So they're opening their season up right away with 3 non-region games, 2 of those at home, 1 on the road. Coach Osment's team's a really good team in Arab. Then they get into region play. You've got Aniana on the road, Etowah at home, White Plains on the road. Then they go back into non-region again where they get Shades Valley, and they're going to go on the road to Shades Valley. And then they get Anniston at home, Hoax Bluff on the road, Alexandria at home, and Asheville at home. Also applaud Coach Kelly because Piedmont, Arab, and Shades Valley is no slouch of a non-region. North Jackson's not terrible either. So really good schedule for Coach Kelly and the Cherokee County Warriors. Again, great graphic to all the people who built these graphics that you're going to see today. I did not build these graphics. I built one of these graphics that I'm going to show you later. But applaud Coach Kelly for his schedule making decisions. That's the Cherokee County Warriors. We're going to go back down a little bit towards the Georgia state line, and that is where we find ourselves with the Cleburne County Tigers. They're coming off a first-round playoff appearance down at Jackson, where they fell to the Aggies. They were in one region, and then the next day they were in a different. But Cleburne County is going to stay south, and here's what their schedule is going to look like. They're going to start non-area or non-region play against Sardis at home. Then they're going to get into region play the second week of the season, where they're going to go on the road to Hanley. Then they get Talladega at home, which is a region game. They're going to go on the road to Booker T. Washington, which is a region game. Then they're going to get back in non-region play, and they're going to go to the Hill again for a second year in the row. Well, this is a non-region game as Cleburne County is going to go to Welborn. Then they're going to get back in region play where they've got Tallahassee at home. They're going to go on the road to St. James. They get Mumford at home. Then they're going to go on the road at Bullitt County, and they're going to close the season non-region again, where they're going to be at home against White Plains. And how about the Cleburne County Tigers schedule? The Tiger, again, what stands out to me is Walter Welborn. Again, getting this game back on the schedule was a big win for Cleburne County a year ago. I think this is a great game for the Tigers as we look ahead at next season. And again, White Plains was a team that was an area game. They actually lost to White Plains last year to get that game still going non-area-wise. Another 4A game. I think this is a good schedule. Don't sleep on the Sardis game either. Much improved Sardis team a year ago. All right, we continue on looking at our schedules, and let's go ahead and take a look at Coach Ken Kofer of the Weaver Bearcats, the Kofer era. There's some rumors out there about Ken Kofer. I don't know if they're true or not, so I'm not going to say them. But they're going to have a little scrimmage at BB Comer on August 16th. But their regular season is going to start against Oak Grove, and this game is going to be on the road at Oak Grove, so they're going to make the trip down to Birmingham to face Oak Grove. Then they're going to get a bye week, and they're going to head into region play against Welborn, and this game is going to be at Walter Welborn. Then they're going to be at home against Sachs, go on the road to Ohatchee, be at home against Winneborough. That's a non-region game. Then they get Glencoe at home. Again, Winnebago's at home, Glencoe's at home. They're going to go to Locust Fork, get Piedmont at home, go to Westbrook Christian, and close the season at J.B. Pennington, which are region games. So again, looking at their schedule, non-region wise, you got a 9-team region, so they only need 2 non-region games. They pick up Oak Grove at Oak Grove, and they pick up Coach Mansfield and the Winneboro Bulldogs, which is a very intriguing game to me. I think this is going to be a good game between Winneboro and Weaver. So that is the 2024 schedule for Coach Ken Kofer and the Weaver Bearcats. Speaking of Class 3A Region 6, we'll stay right there and look at Coach Chris Finley and the Ohatchee Indians. Here's their schedule. They're going to start with a jamboree at White Plains, which is going to feature a couple different teams. And then they're going to get New Hope, and this game is going to be at home against New Hope. And then they're going to get Locust Fork at home. You can go on the road to Piedmont. You can go on the road to J.B. Pennington. Those are region games. They're going to have Weaver at home. That's homecoming for the Indians. Then they're going to go to Donahoe. That's their second non-region game. Again, with a 9-team region, you only need 2 non-region games. They pick up New Hope and Donahoe. They're going to go on the road to Donahoe. Then they're going to get back into region play, go to Westbrook Christian, get Welborn at home, go to Glencoe, and then get Sachs at home for senior night. And then they're going to have a bye week before the playoffs. So there's Coach Chris Finley's schedule coming off a tough season, looking to bounce back in a strong way. And I believe the last schedule we have for this segment is Cedar Bluff, who's moving up from Class 1A to Class 2A. So let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule for Cedar Bluff. They're going to open the season up at Valley Head. Then they're going to get Collinsville at home. Then they're going to go to Gaston. Then they're going to get North Sand Mountain at home, Section at home. How about this right here? Spring Garden. Interesting non-region game against Spring Garden. That's going to be at Cedar Bluff. Then they get back into region play. They go to Pleasant Valley, to Pisgah, get Sand Rock at home, then go to Donahoe, which is a non-region game. So 2 non-region games for Cedar Bluff right there, or 3, I should say, is Valley Head, Spring Garden, Donahoe. Interesting schedule for Cedar Bluff, moving up from Class 1A to Class 2A. So those are a couple schedules, 6 of them, but we have a lot more. We are just getting started. Please don't go away. We'll be right back. You're watching The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Ted's Floors and Beyond is excited to introduce our all-new outdoor living collection. Have you ever dreamed of elevating or even creating an outdoor living space, whether it be for grilling, lounging, playing, entertaining, or just winding down? Our quality tile and stone, combined with our expert craftsmanship, will no doubt create unforgettable outdoor moments with family and friends, while also enhancing the beauty and value of your home. Call us today.
Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you The Locker Room each and every day. Ted's Floors and Beyond has all your flooring needs, whether it's hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, luxury vinyl. They have it for you right there at Ted's. You can go by their showroom there in Anniston and you can pick out what you like, want, and need, and they can do that there at Ted's. Also, they've got their partnership with Weldon Cabinet and will offer you a complete kitchen or bath makeover. That includes cabinets, countertops, flooring, backsplashes, tile showers. They can get it done there at Ted's Floors and Beyond. And now they offer you work on your outdoor space, whether it's an outdoor kitchen, patio, or living space. We have specially made outdoor tiles and stones that can enhance your outdoor experience. So go by and see them today at their showroom in Anniston on Highway 431, right before you get to Sachs Elementary School, or visit them online at shopteds.com. That is shopteds.com. Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you The Locker Room. We continue on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We are talking high school football schedules for the 2024 high school football season. This is The Locker Room, and I am Namath Pitts. So let's pick right back up where we are taking a look at all of the schedules for next season. And let's pick back up with the Lincoln Golden Bears. How about Coach Matt Zedeker's tenacious defense? They're going to open the season up at home against Shelby County. Then they're going to go on the road to Mumford. So 2 non-region games right away against Shelby County and Mumford. Then they're going to go on the road to Center Point. They're going to get Leeds at home, Springville at home. Then they're going to get back in non-region where they go to Northside. Then they're going to go to Jacksonville, back in region play at home against St. Clair County, at Moody, and then Etowah is their final non-region game. So what sticks out to me for Coach Zedeker's team is Etowah, the final week of the season, in a non-region game. I also think that Mumford's an interesting, it's not interesting in the terms they're playing because it's a rivalry, but it's interesting to see how they can always fit that in the schedule, especially when you're in different classifications. And the north side's an intriguing one as well for the Lincoln Golden Bears. Speaking of Mumford, though, who is playing Lincoln week 2, let's move right over to Mumford, I should say, and take a look at Coach Easley's schedule for 2024. Here's the Mumford Lions schedule. They're going to have a jamboree, which is to be announced, and that's going to be during week 0. So they're going to open their season up against Lincoln, and this game's going to be at home. Then they're going to get in region play against Tallahassee, going to go on the road to Bullock County, on the road to Hanley. Then how about this non-region game? Mumford and Westbrook Christian. That is an interesting one. Steve Smith, Coach Michael Easley, non-region on September 27th at Mumford. Then they're going to go on the road to Talladega in region play. They're going to be at home against Booker T. Washington, who's coming off that state semifinals appearance. Going to go on the road to Cleveland County, close the year with St. James at home, and then they're going to go back into non-region play and face another 4A team, one that they were in a region with at one point, and that is Coach Ginn and the Alexandria Valley Cubs, and that game will be at Alexandria. Great non-region schedule, Coach Easley. I applaud you getting some local teams that's going to draw your gate. I mean, Alexandria and Mumford's a great game. Westbrook Christian and Mumford's a great game. Lincoln's that rivalry game. This is a really put together, well, non-region schedule for Coach Michael Easley and the Mumford Lions, who are looking to bounce back after a tough season last year. Let's talk a coach that had a bit of a rough ending. That's Coach Miles Holcomb and the Southside Gadsden Panthers. Let's take a look at their schedule for 2024. And, of course, keeping that game with Guntersville at the beginning of the year like they had last year. They're going to get Guntersville at home, keeping the Hoax Bluff game. That's going to be at Hoax Bluff this year. And then they're going to get into region play. You've got R.E. Lee right there. You've got Fort Payne at home. Lee's going to be on the road. You've got, it looks like Etowah. That's going to be homecoming. That's going to be a non-region game. So Etowah, again, Etowah, how about that? They talked about Lincoln week 10. We see Southside Gadsden week 5. That's a non-region game. Then Southside gets back into region play with May Jemison, former Anniston coach Rico White at May Jemison. They get Buckhorn at home. They go to Gadsden City. The first time Southside and Gadsden City have played each other. And that game's going to be at Gadsden City. And then they get Hazel Green at home and close the season. How about this? Coach Miles Holcomb, Coach Rush Probst at Pell City. That's going to be a great one. So we know Rush Probst so far has got Miles Holcomb and the Southside Gadsden Panthers, and he's got Coosa Christian Marco Bryant. So we already know 2 of the teams that Rush Probst has got on his schedule for the 2024 season. So how about that? Interesting non-region schedule for Miles Holcomb. Put together a great one. Guntersville, Etowah, and Pell City. I mean, Coach Holcomb, great job, my guy. Great schedule and a lot of talent for Miles Holcomb and the Southside Gadsden Panthers, looking to get a better ending next year than they did this year. All right, I believe this is the final schedule we're going to talk about this segment, and it is the Steak Sandwich Spring Garden Panthers. I could go for a steak sandwich right now, but you could go for their schedule, so let's take a look at it. And here's what we got for the Panthers. They got Sand Rock at home, which is a non-region game. And then they've got Pleasant Valley on the road, which is also a non-region game. Keeping that game with Pleasant Valley and Coach Nix. They get into region play at Raglan, get Woodville at home, go to Valley Head, get back in non-region where you get Cedar Bluff, who's in Class 2A at Cedar Bluff. Then we're back in region play with Appalachian, that game's at Spring Garden. Then they go on the road to Gillsville. They get Eider at home, who's dropping from 2A to 1A, and they close the season non-region-wise on my birthday, November 1st. At Spring Garden against Rambert. Well, I can tell you this, guys. John Holder, I'd love for you to take me to Spring Garden on my birthday so I can get a birthday steak sandwich. Maybe they'll give me 2 since it's my birthday. Either way, I don't know. But I know it's a great schedule for the Spring Garden Panthers, who also are looking to have a better ending this season than they did a year ago. They'll be looking to do that in their second season under Coach Ragsdale. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got 6 more schedules we're going to look at as we continue rolling on this Wednesday afternoon. You're watching The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Ted's Floors and Beyond is excited to introduce our all-new outdoor living collection. Have you ever dreamed of elevating or even creating an outdoor living space, whether it be for grilling, lounging, playing, entertaining, or just winding down? Our quality tile and stone, combined with our expert craftsmanship, will no doubt create unforgettable outdoor moments with family and friends, while also enhancing the beauty and value of your home. Call us today.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today. For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
We continue on this Wednesday afternoon. This is the Locker Room presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I'm Namath Pitts. Before the break, we were talking football schedules. We've done that all day, but we forgot one that we were supposed to do last segment, so let's go ahead and get right into that one before we continue on with our last six. But here is the Moody Blue Devils, Coach Jake Gannis. And I don't know if there is a tougher non-region schedule in the state of Alabama. Just take a look at this. They open the season up at home against Gainesville, Georgia. Now, I don't know if you guys remember who's coaching at Gainesville, Georgia, but he might be a guy that's won a couple state championships, won a couple at Hoover. He might be a guy that's probably one of the best coaches in high school football. That's Coach Niblett. His team is making the trip on Thursday night to Moody. I mean, I could see this being an ESPN-type game. And then after that, Moody's going to go on the road to face the Oxford Yellow Jackets and Coach Sam Adams. That is two absolutely incredible non-region games. Then you get into region play, and they got Jacksonville at home. They're going to go to St. Clair County. Then they get back into, you've got Helena on the road. All right. Then you get Auburn. They're hosting Auburn on Thursday night again. Again, that could be an ESPN-type game. And then they get Center Point, Leeds at home. Springville is they're at Center Point. All right, at home against Leeds, at Springville, and then close the season against Lincoln at home. Again, what stands out to me, guys, right here is Gainesville, Georgia. Coach Niblett's team coming there on Thursday night. Keith Etheridge's team coming there on Thursday night. Then they're going to face Sam Adams. They're going to Helena. I mean, Moody has put together some incredible games this season. Talk about exposure. The Moody Blue Devils are going to get exposure. There's not a question about that. I might just have to find myself at Moody this year to catch some of these games. That is the Moody Blue Devils schedule. Gainesville, Georgia, Auburn, Oxford, Helena, and then you get Jacksonville in region play, Leeds in region play. That is one incredible schedule. All right, though, we're going to shift from 5 to 4. Let's take a look at White Plains Wildcats. Coach Jennings in his second season at White Plains. And here's the schedule they've got together. They're going to open the year up at Talladega, who's looking for a coach right now after Bill Smith stepped down. Then they're going to get Alexandria at home. They're going to go to Hoax Bluff. These are region games. They're going to get Cherokee County at home. They're going to be at home against Horseshoe Bend. That's a non-region game. Get back in region play. You go to Asheville. You're at home against Oneonta. You go to Etowah. You're at home against Anniston. Close the year out at Cleburne County. For Coach Jennings' team, not really a surprise here in terms of scheduling. I feel like Talladega is one of them games that both these teams have been using to kind of fight to get wins on the schedule. Horseshoe Bend's been another kind of struggling program. And then Cleburne County, again, they beat them a year ago. So, hey, you've got some confidence. Let's play them again. I see where Coach Jennings is coming out right there. Definitely, certainly, though, probably not as tough as a region as before because you had Hanley, Anniston, and Jacksonville, but still a tough region. Definitely think Etowah's a good team. Cherokee County's coming off them state championship appearances. Oneonta's losing Fluff Bothwell, but still going to be really good. I think Etowah under Peavy's going to be better. Anniston's still there. Alexandria's dropping, but people forget they only won one game last year, so it's going to be interesting to see how things shape out for White Plains. Staying in that region, though, staying in 4A Region 6, let's look at the Valley Cubs, who are coming off one of historically their worst years with only one win. So Coach Ginn's team can only, they could lose 0 games, but I think they're going to do better next year. So you can only go up from here. So I think they're going to at least get more than one win. But here's their schedule. Good non-region game against Jacksonville. That's a rivalry game that you keep at the top of the schedule. And then you get right into region play. White Plains at White Plains. Anniston at home. How about Anniston coming to Death Valley? That's going to be an incredible environment. And then you get Oneonta on the road. Sardis is a non-region game. That's at Sardis. Hoax Bluff's at home. Asheville's at home. You go to Cherokee County. You get Etowah at home. How about Coach Peavy's team coming to Death Valley? And then you close the year at home against Mumford. 6 home games for Alexandria, only 4 away games, which means the next year they'll have 4 home games, 6 away. Interesting right there. Alexandria's definitely going to get some gate money next year. And look, Jacksonville at home, people are going to travel. Anniston at home, people are going to travel. Hokes Bluff and Asheville, we're going to get a little bit. Hokes Bluff travels pretty well. Etowah, I think, is going to be, that could even, Etowah, I believe, could be in contention for the region championship right there. So they're going to travel well, and Mumford's going to be a good, kind of right here in the East Alabama area game. So good schedule for Coach Ginn and the Alexandria Valley Cubs. Again, though, staying in Class 4A Region 6, let's take a look at the new head coach of the Etowah Blue Devils, Coach Scott Peavy. Here is the schedule he's put together in his first season at Etowah. They're going to open the season up against Jacksonville at home. And again, I'm already looking at this. How about the non-region both these teams put together? Alexandria is going to face Jacksonville on the 30th, but Etowah is going to face Jacksonville on the 23rd. So how about Jacksonville? They've already booked Alexandria and Etowah. And then they get a bye week, Etowah does. They get in region play against Hokes Bluff at home, Cherokee County at home, Asheville at home, back into non-region where they get Southside on the road. They go to Southside. Back in region play, Aniana at home, Anniston at Anniston, White Plains at home, Alexandria at Alexandria, and then on my birthday, November 1st, it's going to be Lincoln at Lincoln, and then the playoffs. Again, for me, looking at Coach Scott Peavy's schedule, booked Jacksonville and Southside, who are in the same region, and Lincoln. So they booked 3 teams that are in the same region in Class 5A. Coach Peavy's basically 4A Region 6, same thing in 5A. Really good schedule for Coach Peavy in his first season. I'm excited to see what Coach Scott Peavy is going to do for Etowah. I think he's going to do an absolutely phenomenal job. I think they're going to be back to their winning ways consistently. And they've got some young talent. If Coach Peavy's going to be there a while, they've got some young talent that's going to be coming into the middle school ranks here soon that is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And so if Etowah's got some really good talent, and I love Coach Peavy, I'm excited to see what the Blue Devils are going to be doing moving forward. You got Blue Devils, and then you got Raiders. How does that make sense? It really doesn't. But let's talk Coach Jonathan Nixon, the Pleasant Valley Raiders Class 2A schedule. And they are back in a region with a team that finished their season, which is Pisgah. They're going to open the season up with a fall jamboree, which is to be announced. And then they're going to be on the road at West End. They're going to get Spring Garden at home. That's non-region game. They're going to go get Pisgah at home, which is a region game. Pisgah ended their season a year ago. They're going to go to Sand Rock. I see Woodland on the road. That's a non-region game. Then they get Cedar Bluff at home, Gaston at home, North Sand Mountain on the road, and Section is at home. Non-region-wise, it looks like they booked Spring Garden, Woodland, and so some interesting, and I believe West End's also a non-region game. I believe West End's in that Coosa Christian region. So this is an interesting non-region schedule for Coach Nix. West End, Spring Garden, and Woodland, who moved from 2 to 1A. And then you see that region with Pisgah, North Sand Mountain, Section, Gaston, Cedar Bluff. Interesting region, I should say, for the Pleasant Valley Raiders. Coach Jonathan Nix's team looking to make the playoffs for a second straight year. They're certainly going to be better. There's a lot of talent coming back for the Raiders. All right, let's take a look at the schedule that Clint Smith put together, but the graphic I put together. I built this graphic last night. I got their schedule and built the graphic. So here is the schedule for the Jacksonville Golden Eagles. Coach Clint Smith's team is going to open the season up at Etowah on August 23rd. Then they're going to go on the road at Alexandria on August 30th, go to Moody and region play on September 6th. They're going to open the season up with 3 straight road games. They're going to get Center Point at home in region play, then go on the road to Leeds in region play. So 4 of their first 5 games are on the road. Then they get Corner at home, region play back on the road at Springville. You get Lincoln at home. You got a bye week. And then you get St. Clair County at home, and you go to Anniston. So what sticks out to me here is the fact that Clint Smith's team has 6 road games, and they've only got 4 home games. So Jacksonville is not going to make a lot of money next year, because I can tell you this right now, Center Point is not going to travel well. Corner might, but still not a close drive. Lincoln, you might, and St. Clair County, I don't think is going to travel well. So it's definitely going to be tough for Jacksonville next year in terms of the gate, in my opinion. Now, we know the Jacksonville fans are going to do their part. We know they're going to be there. They're going to pack the stadium out. But when it comes to the opposing team coming in, they're going to struggle in the gate this year. But I think you look at next year, Etowah coming in, that's going to be a big gate. Alexandria coming in, that's going to be a big gate. Moody coming in, that's going to be a big gate because that's going to be a big game. First region game. You know they travel well. Leeds, again, I know it's all the way in Leeds, but they travel well because it's a good program. Springville is going to be, and then Anniston, Jacksonville to close the year, rivalry game kind of in a way. That's going to be a big gate. So that's going to be a big game to end the year. So next year, the gate's going to be huge for Jacksonville, but it's going to hurt them a little bit this year. And the final schedule we're going to talk about is Coach Freeney and the Sox Wildcats. So let's take a look at their schedule for 2024. They're in 3A Region 6. They're going to have a jamboree at White Plains, which is going to feature White Plains, Sandrock, Ramburn, and Ohatchee. They're going to open the year up at Horseshoe Bend, get into region play, Piedmont at home, and then they're going to go to Westbrook, to Weaver, Welborn at home. Then they're going to have non-region game at Central Coosa down in Rockford. Then they're going to be back in region play and go to JB Pennington. They're going to be home against Glencoe, have a bye week. Ohatchee on the road after that. Locust Fork at home after that. So their two non-region games are Horseshoe Bend and Central Coosa. So Horseshoe Bend and Central Coosa is the two non-region games for the Sox Wildcats. And that's a lot of the schedules for the team in East Alabama. If we did not talk about your team, it's because their schedule has not been finalized yet. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. When we come back tomorrow, we will have highlights and a lot more from the Calhoun County Wrestling Tournament. I hope you'll join me right back here tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. Central Time. So come back tomorrow. Thank you for watching The Locker Room presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.